My name is Rabbi Irv Elson, and I'm the director of the JWB Jewish Chaplains Council. I want to welcome you to the first National Jewish Community Observance of Memorial Day. For the past 102 years, the JWB Jewish Chaplains Council has been providing for a meaningful Jewish life to the men and women in uniform and for our nation's Jewish veterans. This year, we are honored to host a first for our community, a national remembrance. These are trying and difficult times for our country where Americans have been asked to sacrifice a little bit. So how appropriate it is that today we honor and remember those who sacrificed their very lives to our country and its ideals. As a community, we'll listen to songs, we'll utter prayers, and we'll remember the men and women who, through their sacrifices, embody the ideals of our great nation. How appropriate the words of America the Beautiful truly are. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. I pray that you find in these moments of reflection a renewed sense of gratitude for our nation's fallen heroes. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Naval Academy Combined Glee Club.
My fellow Americans, proud members of the American Jewish community. My name is Doron Krakow, and I am privileged to serve as President and CEO of JCC Association of North America. Among our movement's most proud responsibilities is our work with the Jewish men and women who serve our country in the United States Armed Forces. Today, more than 10,000 Jewish men and women are on active duty at U.S. military installations around the world, together with 15,000 members of their families. But the 25,000 members of these Jewish military families tell only part of the story. Hundreds of thousands of others, veterans of patriotic service to our nation, take part in Jewish life in communities from coast to coast and are treasured members of the JCC movement family. This is the first ever National Jewish Community Observance of Memorial Day. Initially known as Decoration Day, it originated following the Civil War, when a group of freed slaves in Charleston, South Carolina, held a small commemoration less than a month after the surrender of the Confederacy in 1865. Who better than JCC Association and JWB to lead these efforts today for the American Jewish community? For over 100 years, JWB has provided a meaningful Jewish life for Jews in the military. For well over a century, JCCs have served as the town square for all Jews, regardless of denomination or background, a place to come together as one. We come together today once again to remember those who chose country over self and freedom over the tyrannies of the world. Since the days of the American Revolution, Jews have proudly served in our United States Armed Forces, many having paid the ultimate price. Today, we will hear some of their stories, and together with all Americans, honor those who have fallen, grieve with their families, and remember the immeasurable cost of freedom and democracy.
On January 23, 2010, I received that knock on the door that changed my life forever. United States Marine Corps Lance Corporal Jeremy Kane was killed in Afghanistan after stopping a suicide bomber and saving countless lives. To me, he wasn't just Lance Corporal Jeremy Kane. He was Jeremy, my firstborn son, who was brave and determined to make a difference in the world in which he lived. He was a loving son, a big brother to Daniel and Benjamin, and everyone's best friend. He was smart, funny, kind, compassionate, creative, and disciplined. Just 4 months after his death, I experienced my new reality and understood the true meaning of Memorial Day. I, along with thousands of other Gold Star family members, gathered in our nation's capital to honor and remember the lives of those who died defending our country. Thank you for honoring and remembering our nation's fallen. Their courage, service, and sacrifice shall not be forgotten, and the love will remain.
I am Rear Admiral Jeff Jablon, and I am deeply privileged to be able to speak to you today as we pause to honor those Americans who have given the ultimate sacrifice in service to our country. This is a special privilege that I cherish as an active duty naval officer, as an American citizen, and as a member of the Jewish community. While this is an unusual way to observe Memorial Day due to COVID-19 and social distancing, it's important to reflect on those who sacrificed for our country and who made a difference in our way of life. Memorial Day has such a special meaning that we cannot let it go without marking it, even virtually. Memorial Day, for many Americans, conjures up images of hot dogs, hamburgers, swimming pools, and summertime, but the last Monday in May serves, most importantly, as a time to honor those who died while fighting in the United States Armed Forces. It's a holiday steeped in somber American history and tradition. The day actually began as Decoration Day following the Civil War, when mourners placed flowers on the graves of Union and Confederate soldiers. As time went on, the observance instead became known as Memorial Day until 1971, when Congress declared it as an official holiday. This is the first time that there is a national effort by the American Jewish community to observe Memorial Day, and I salute that effort. I'd like to thank those in uniform watching this video for your sacrifice every day, both serving in uniform and supporting our fellow service members who, like us, are prepared to give the ultimate sacrifice in the name of freedom. Our military members represent the best of America. Coming from every background and every walk of life, they represent the rich tapestry of our nation, and they are what make us a global military force. I also want to especially recognize those family members who may be watching this video who have suffered the loss of a loved one during their service to our country. In the words of Abraham Lincoln, "No one has laid so costly a sacrifice upon the altar of freedom as you. You bear a heavy burden, one that many of us will never completely comprehend. But please know that we stand with you, recognize your sacrifice, and greatly appreciate the service of your loved one to our nation." Without the selfless contribution of the men and women who have given their lives in service to our country, from the numerous conflicts stemming back to the battles fought in establishing our great nation, to assisting our allies in the wars fought on foreign lands, we would not be where we are today without them. As a community, Jews have fought and died in every conflict that our country has fought in. We have proudly served from the early days of the 13 colonies right up to the conflicts in Iraq and Afghanistan. As we honor our fallen comrades from every branch of the United States military, Let their efforts, sacrifices, and successes continue to inspire us today. As current service members, it's now our turn to uphold the high standards set by those brave men and women who came before us to defend freedom and democracy around the world. Today, as a community united, we join our fellow Americans as we mourn and remember the fallen, along with their families, and we commit ourselves to keep the memory of their sacrifices alive. On that note, thank you all that have served and continue to serve our great nation, and thank you for inviting me to share this day with you. God bless America, and God bless our men and women who have served and those serving in uniform today.
On July 4, 2008, my brother Daniel Farkas, First Lieutenant of Artillery, was killed in Afghanistan. Daniel was an active sergeant in the New York City Police Department when his National Guard unit was called up for duty. Daniel took pride in serving his country in many ways. He was known for his quiet leadership skills and his wonderful sense of humor. Thank you for honoring Danny and his fallen brothers and sisters.
Hello, everyone. I am Harvey Weiner, National Commander of the Jewish War Veterans of the United States of America. JWV was founded in 1896, is one of the nation's oldest active veterans organization, and will celebrate its 125th anniversary next year. The proportion of Jews who have fought in each of America's wars is often greater than their proportion in the general population. Beginning with Francis Salvador of South Carolina, who was killed at age 29 in the Revolutionary War, there have been over 100,000 American Jews who have died in the military service of the United States. On Memorial Day, we honor those men and women.
Roz did very well at the Academy. She enjoyed the challenges presented there and appreciated the many opportunities as a team member and in squadron, group, and wing leadership positions. There were very few Jewish cadets at the Academy. Roz was aware of being in the minority, but was also in the minority as a female. I don't think either was really an issue or an obstacle for her.
After graduation, Roz became an intelligence officer and was assigned to Hickam Air Base in Hawaii. Her duties included drone and satellite intelligence gathering and distribution. With her communication and leadership skills, she was often assigned to numerous joint service activities. She worked well with other branches of the service. Roz volunteered to be deployed and accepted a position to be on loan to the Army at the Combined Security Transition Command Afghanistan at Camp Eggers in Kabul, Afghanistan. She was the Foreign Disclosure Officer. She worked with the highest levels of the Afghan National Army and military intelligence to develop a human intelligence network throughout the country and to disclose to them actionable intel gathered by the U.S. and allied services. In addition to her base duties, she enjoyed providing needed humanitarian supplies to the local relief camps. Her duties often required her to travel outside the wire, and on an intel sharing mission on May 20th, 2009, she was killed by an improvised explosive device along with her passenger, retired Army Colonel Sean Pine. Fittingly, Roz was buried Memorial Day. As Rabbi Shook stated then, Memorial Day will never be the same.
We are so proud of Roz. She went her own way and she did so with a spark. She was passionate about what she was doing and she wanted to make a positive impact, and she did. She packed a lot into 25 short years. We are honored that Roz's legacy and memory have been recognized. The fact that people still reach out to us, remembering her is a true blessing, knowing that she will not be forgotten. Thank you for the opportunity to share her story.
Hi, I'm Rabbi Tracy Kaplowitz, Director of Operations of JWB Jewish Chaplains Council. Thank you for joining us today in the solemn National Jewish Community Observance of Memorial Day. Until 2011, I served as a chaplain in the U.S. Air Force Reserve, My concluding assignment was to support the mission of Dover Air Force Base, the U.S. Armed Forces Mortuary. In this role, I met Susie and Bob Schulte, who you just heard from, on the night we brought their daughter, First Lieutenant Rosalind Schulte, back from Afghanistan. My time serving in the mortuary during Operations Iraqi Freedom and Enduring Freedom made me fully aware of the human cost of war. It was then that I committed myself to honoring the memories of our fallen heroes. We are about to hear from Lieutenant Andrew Corwell, the commanding officer of the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Nathan Bruckenthal. Before we do, I want you to get to know Petty Officer 3rd Class Nathan Bruckenthal, of blessed memory, for whom that ship is named. Nathan grew up believing in the motto, service before self. He knew from a young age that he would serve his community and his country. He joined the U.S. Coast Guard and deployed twice to the Persian Gulf. On his second deployment, he intercepted a waterborne suicide attack. Nathan, along with 2 Navy petty officers, was killed. Others were injured in the attack. Petty Officer 3rd Class Nathan Bruckenthal was a devoted son and a loving husband, becoming a father after his death. He was also a proud Jew, and the first U.S. Coast Guardsman killed in action since the Vietnam War. I am proud to introduce Lieutenant Corwell and the crew of U.S. Coast Guard cutter Nathan Bruckenthal.
Serving aboard United States Coast Guard cutter Nathan Bruckenthal and carrying on the legacy of our namesake is a special privilege for the 24 officers and crew assigned to the ship. The unit's motto, Bravery in Battle, serves as a daily reminder of the dedicated service and sacrifice of Petty Officer Bruckenthal, who was killed in action while on patrol in the Arabian Gulf in 2004. His service reminds us all that we serve a cause greater than ourselves and of the ability to overcome fear in the face of adversity. Today's crew of cutter Nathan Bruckenthal embody the teamwork, professionalism, and initiative characteristic of our namesake and honor his sacrifice through their continued devoted service to our nation.
We would like to thank the Jewish Center for hosting this virtual Memorial Day tribute to honor all of our military veterans. Our family especially appreciates the opportunity to be invited to honor one very special fallen hero, our son and brother, Matthew G. Cantor. Matt was a Navy SEAL operator who died during a combat mission in Afghanistan on November 1st, 2012. Matt received the Bronze Star for Valor and is a hero to the 30 teammates that he saved that day.
Matt, we miss you. We love you.
Shalom. My name is Chaplain Stephen Reen, JWB Rabbi, and Rabbi at Arlington National Cemetery. For over 150 years, our nation has honored her fallen in these sacred and holy grounds. These hallowed stones are solemn memorials to the men and women who answered the call of their country. Each of them gave of their lives for the sake of freedom. Some paid the ultimate price. Some served many years. Others served but a few. But all served so that this nation might always be free. And today we are in this Garden of Stones, this solemn, sacred resting place, to remember all those whose lives were lost on this Memorial Day. I think of individuals like Michael Tarlovsky, a Jewish lad born in the former Soviet Union who came to the United States as a young boy, attending Rutgers University, following his dreams, his passions, joining the United States Army, only to see those dreams cut short. And you look out at these stones and you see Stars of David, you see crosses, crescents, other religious symbols, individuals who fought side by side, and they rest side by side. A few weeks ago, we celebrated Israel's independence on Yom HaAtzmaut. remembered Israel's fallen on Yom HaZikaron. And today, Memorial Day, we recall the fallen of this great nation. When I think of these days, I think of none other than Major Gideon Lichtman. Major Lichtman was a fighter pilot for the Army Air Corps during World War II. And immediately after the war, was among the first volunteers and founders of Israel's Air Force. He was credited with the first air-to-air killing of an Egyptian aircraft during Israel's War of Independence. Embodied in Major Lichtman is who we are as a people. Love of two countries, a love of Israel, and a love of the United States of America. And on this solemn day, we think about those who fought for our freedoms, for our values, the infinite divinity within each and every human being.
My hero son, Specialist Daniel Agami, aka the Hebrew Hammer, proudly bore these words on his rifle while serving on the front lines. He joined the Army at the age of 23 in 2005 and the only known Jewish soldier in his unit. He proudly flew his Israeli flag over his bunk while stationed in Germany and then again in Baghdad, and he never dared hide his Jewishness while serving. I want Daniel to be remembered for the ultimate sacrifice he made for all Americans in June 2007 when his tank was hit by a roadside bomb. Daniel was a great Jewish American soldier and hero, and praise, neshama, and sacrifice will never be forgotten, especially by Jewish communities all across America. I hope more Americans will spend Memorial Day reflecting on soldiers that made the ultimate sacrifice from all wars, past and present.
Hi, this is Eric Fingerhut. I'm the president and CEO of the Jewish Federations of North America. On behalf of the 146 federations and 300 independent network communities that are part of the Jewish Federations of North America, it is my privilege to participate in the Jewish Community Center Association's first ever National Jewish Community Observance of Memorial Day. I'm so grateful that the JCCA has taken on this important initiative. You know, Memorial Day was a very big holiday in my family growing up. I am the son of a World War II veteran who fought behind the Battle of the Bulge and was always so proud of his military service and is buried in the Jewish War Veterans section of the cemetery in Cleveland, Ohio. I am the son-in-law of a veteran who served at the end of World War II and was actually shot and injured in the Korean War and rests today peacefully at Arlington National Cemetery, where we laid him to rest just this past year. The service that these veterans and those who made the ultimate sacrifice in war and didn't return made so that we could live the free lives in this open society, in this great democratic country, the sacrifices they made for us should be remembered by us, by our children, and by all generations. We are, in fact, among the most fortunate generation of Jews to ever live. Of all the years of the Jewish diaspora, we are the freest. We have the most opportunities to participate in civic life. We have the opportunity to raise our children to be anything they want to be, and for us to become anything that we want to be in our own lives. This is a blessing that comes from God, but also comes from the dedication of those who have preserved and protected and made the ultimate sacrifice to preserve and protect this great and free land. As we approach this Memorial Day, may we return the blessings of freedom to those who will come after us, and may we always remember how grateful and how much we have benefited from others' sacrifice. In last week's Torah portion, we finished the book of Vayikra, and we read the famous words about the Jubilee year, Kratem dror ba'aretz l'chol yoshveha, proclaim liberty throughout the land. and to all the inhabitants thereof. It's inscribed on the Liberty Bell. It inspired the Revolutionary War period. It inspired the Civil Rights Movement. It inspired the Abolitionist Movement. It inspired the Suffragette Movement. It's the words of our Torah, and it inspires us today. We remember today with great humility and with deep love all those who gave their lives to make us able to proclaim liberty. Have a wonderful holiday.
מלא רחמים, שוכן במרומים, המצא מנוחה נכונה על כנפי השכינה, במעלות קדושים וטהורים, כזוהר הרקיע, מזהירים את נשמות אחינו אנשי החיל, אשר הארו למוות נפשם בעד ארצנו ולחירות העולם. לכן בעל הרחמים הסתירם בסתר כנפיו לעולמים, וצרור בצרור החיים את נשמתם. עם נשמות הצדיקים העומדים לבניך, והיה מעשיהם הצדקה, שלום ובטח עד עולם. לא ייסגו אל גוי חרב, ולא ילמדו עוד מלחמה. ונגלה כבוד אדוני וראו כל בשר ודם יחדיו, ותהי מנוחתו כבוד. סופה שמחות את פניך, נעימות במנחה הנצח, ונאמר אמן.
Exalted, compassionate God, grant perfect peace in your sheltering presence among the holy and the pure, whose radiance is like the heavens, to all the men and women who gave their lives in defense of our country and freedom of the world. Master of mercy, may they find eternal shelter beneath your sheltering wings, and may their soul be bound in the bond of life, together with the righteous souls who stand in your presence. May they rest with honor, and may their actions hasten the day when righteousness, peace, and security shall prevail forever. When nation shall not lift sword against nation, neither shall they study war any more. And when the glory of the eternal will be revealed, and all the flesh and blood will see it together. The fullness of blissful joy is in your presence, at your right hand forevermore. Amen.
My name is Chaplain Karen Berger, and I'm the Jewish chaplain at Fort Benning, Georgia. And we are at the Moses Levy Cemetery family plot, which is the burial ground of Jewish veterans who have served our country for more than 200 years. I'd like to thank you all for coming together today for honoring the fallen heroes of our country. And I especially want to thank and honor the commitment that the Jewish community has made to recognize those who have served, especially those Jewish men and women who have served the United States since its founding. I'd like to thank the JWB Jewish Chaplains Council and the JCCA of North America and all other partnering organizations who have made this virtual presentation possible.